The rape claims against Zizi Kodwa coming hot on the heels of sexual harassment charges against another ANC spokesperson, Pule Mabe. Mabe was found not guilty by the ANC disciplinary committee on the matter. However, the complainant wants to take up the matter with the mediation body, the CCMA. We're now joined on the line by political analyst Ralph Mathekga to unpack the implications of these allegations on BRAND ANC. Thank you for being with us, Ralph. Firstly, this has to be investigated by police. Of course, we weren't there, we don't know what happened, but maybe you can start by commenting on Zizi Kodwa's response that this is a dirty tricks campaign.
Thanks for inviting me, and good evening to viewers at home. I think that this is quite a complex issue. We know where we are as a society, that rape is a very, very serious issue. We are worried about violence against women and children, and what that dictates to us is that we have to take this thing seriously. And of course, here we have someone who is saying that this is just a political campaign to discredit my name. But I think that because of the nature of the matter, there ought to be investigation into the rape to ascertain through law enforcement as to whether there has been rape or not. And I think once that is been done, then we can also then see about the question about any political machination within the party. We cannot just say that there ought not to be an investigation simply because the alleged perpetrator is actually saying that this is part of political campaigning. The mere fact that the alleged perpetrator is allegedly involved in this, it means that you cannot just take their word as a final say on this. Hence, you need an arbiter. And what is the best arbiter out of this is to get law enforcement involved. And if no one has opened a case and that person has used Zizi Kodwa's name in the public, Mr. Kodwa should approach the police as well. And I think he can open a case against this kind of a person as well. We cannot just stand in a standoff here, not knowing exactly what is happening. We're talking about people in a place of power here.
What does this mean for the ANC in an election year?
Well, the ANC could do without this kind of publicity. I mean, the party is experiencing difficulties when it comes to your state capture, when it comes to a few inquiries coming out there in the country. But at the same time, you've got people who are supposed to be spokespersons of the ANC, the people who are supposed to be that face that put it into perspective for you when you want to know about the party. You know very well as a journalist, these people are actually the face when you want to get to understand what is happening within the ANC, and unfortunately they are battling with their own personal matters, which they say are not entirely personal, but they've got to do with them doing their job. It is quite sad indeed if people are just using such serious matters to fight politics. But equally so, we need to understand as well, there need to be investigation without favor, irrespective of who, or the people who are in power, the people who are allegedly involved.
The ANC has progressive gender policies. Previously, we've seen 50-50 quotas, so many female ministers, female decision makers. But then this acceptance that there are meetings happening between subordinates and superiors in hotels, in restaurants, in places where women aren't protected. Can we at least say, at the very least, the ANC has not put policies in place to protect vulnerable young female staffers?
I believe that the ANC do have policies in place regarding your sexual harassment and regarding the safety of younger people, the safety of vulnerable women or even men as well who are working within the organization. And actually, it is supposed to be even more safer within the ANC than on the street, in the sense that this is the party that is supposed to be implementing those policies in government. It is the party that is supposed to show the country, and the only way it can show the country and shepherd the country towards a just society where everybody else feels safe, it's only if the party can demonstrate that internally. But unfortunately, I don't know whether I should say, is it the political culture across our political parties, or is it just the ANC? Women often, there are always these complaints that have got to do with gender. There is a question as to whether women are actually being represented fully. I mean, the provincial chairpersons of the party now, any of them that are women, maybe I'm wrong, within the ANC, those are things that actually reflect that it's not just the numbers, but it's about having people in the structures where people can begin to influence the value system. And I think the ANC has to work harder at this so that they can demonstrate to the nation that the value system they aspire to, that of the party, it is the one that the nation can live with.
Also, in the statement by the alleged victim, Papa Leshabane is mentioned. He's a director of a company that's formerly Bosasa, saying he is a friend of Zizi Kodwa's, or they know each other. So that link doesn't look good either.
The link does not look good. However, legally, the link does not mean anything. They could be friends or whatsoever if you want to speak about the legality of this. And I don't even think if they were to be prosecuted, if such kind of actions are taken, the directorship will matter on this specific matter. If such kind of measures have been taken out of this allegation, and again, Francis, these are the allegations. But I do think that out in the public space is just not a good link. This is the type of a person, people whose names do not come out very well in society now. And one asks the ANC itself, again, the people who are supposed to be the face of the ANC, someone such as Zizi Kodwa, we understand he's not infallible, he's a human being, but again, being the face of the party requires going an extra mile to make sure that you do not compromise the name of the party through associations such as this.
Finally, Zizi Kodwa, depending on whether these claims stick or depending on the investigation, would he have had a bright political future, or does he?
I believe he's been coming out very well within the organization, and actually, for the justice, for the benefit of the doubt, one hope that there is no proof to this. One hope that such kind of thing did not happen to any human being. These things that are alleged to have happened, that we do not have victims here, such kind of things did not happen. One hopes that it will only get to that point, because you look at the career as well of Zizi Kodwa, and even the career of the alleged victim here, certainly this kind of things will divide the nation. Zizi Kodwa is not just an ordinary person, he's a powerful man within the ANC, and I do think that he's got a great future within his organization, within communication. You listen to him, he does make sense. And I want to believe as well that the alleged victim as well, if they were going to stand on this, their lives would be difficult. That is why we are hoping this did not happen. It will turn people's lives around. One only hopes that such kind of an incident did not take place. But if it did, and the only way to know if it did, there ought to be an investigation.
All right, thank you very much, political analyst Ralph Mathekga.